Hi, folks and friends on YouTube. Thanks for being here. I'm Still Dreaming is my channel, and in this video, I want to share my inspiration tips for a productive and blessed day, which I have here written. I wrote this out a few days ago, and I reread it earlier today, and I kind of feel like two or three things kind of overlap. So I kind of messed up a little bit in that part. But anyway, before I jump into this read, I want to show where I am. I'm in, it's a spare bedroom, but quite honestly, I pretty much live in this bedroom for the most part, I would say. And my husband has some medical things that he's dealing with right now, and he's in a wheelchair, and he's got a big recliner chair in the room that he uses, our room, and like other medical supplies. So he needs more room, so that's kind of why I'm using this room. And so but we're in here because a couple of the things that I have written up here for inspiration tips for a productive and blessed day. I have some examples of those tips in this room. That's why we're in here. Okay, so and before I start reading, just want to mention and say again, once again, to remind everybody that primarily the content on my channel here is faith-based. I'm a Catholic Christian, so a lot of my content is related to the Catholic faith, and so I just wanted to mention that. So if you're Catholic and you're living your faith, as best you can, then maybe some of what I share and talk about is going to be relatable to you. But if you're a non-Catholic, then, it's not going to be so relatable to you, but it might be of interest. So, okay, so I'm going to jump into this thing that I have written now for inspiration tips for a productive and, one other thing I digressed. Sorry about that. I guess what I wanted to say was that, again, back to my channel and a lot of the content being faith-based and related to the Catholic Church and the teachings of the Catholic Church. Like I said, some of the things that I touch on my inspiration tips are like faith-based. I guess that's what I was going to say. I kind of think I forgot a little bit of what I was going to say. Hopefully it'll come back around again. Okay, so I guess I'll just read it. Oh, and it's not in any particular order. It's just it was just off the top of my head, and I just kind of wrote it the way it came off of the top of my head. So, okay, so here we go. So, words to live by, a place for everything and everything in its place. Again, so these are inspiration tips. Okay, so customize a daily agenda that suits you best. Keep a daily cleaning schedule and stick to it. Decide on where to start. Wash your hands before you start, is what I meant. Ask the Lord to bless your work and make it holy. And we can do that by, our work that we do on a daily basis, as mundane as it might feel like to us. You know, we're washing dishes, we're sweeping and mopping, we're making beds, we're buying groceries, we're making dinner, we're paying bills, we're doing yard work, we're keeping it all together, basically. So we get tired, especially if you've been doing it for as long as, like myself. I've been doing it for so many years now. I'm just like, I go through periods where I'm just so completely burnt out with all of it. And it's only by the grace of God that I'm able to circle back around. It might take a little while, but I can kind of pull myself up out of it, being so unmotivated and uninspired. And I can muster up enough, bandwidth, what I got inside, to pull it together and keep going and do the next thing. So when you go to do a work, a housework, a chore, whatever you want to call it, a task, a responsibility, something that it got to be done, and if you don't do it, nobody else will, type of thing. Okay, so you can place that at the foot of Jesus' cross, and that in and of itself, doing that, makes your work, it sanctifies it, and it makes it holy, and then you can offer it up to God, and not for the sake of your salvation, like a lot of non-Catholics think. They have a misunderstanding about that, about Catholics, that we're just our faith is all about doing good works to get to heaven, for our salvation. And that's not it exactly. It even says in the Bible, I forget what verse it is, but it says somewhere in the Bible, faith without works is dead. So it's really what it is. To get to the heart of the matter, it is doing for others, for the love of God, just for the love of God. Okay, so service to others for the sake of Jesus. Okay, so that's really what it is. So okay, so whoops, sorry, I kind of blurred in and out. Sorry about that. Okay, so that's why I mentioned that in my inspiration tips, where I say, okay, here we go, where I say to ask the Lord to bless your work and make it holy. Okay, offer up your works to Jesus for the glory of God. Move when the Holy Spirit moves you. There's times where I don't feel like doing anything, but then here comes, the Holy Spirit comes along and prompts me to get up and start moving and get things done. So when you feel that prompting, you've got to answer to it. Okay, this is what helps me. By doing that, I get things done in the course of my day. When I allow the Holy Spirit to move me. Okay, so then, this is the thing. Keep your belongings to a minimum. Less is more. The less you have, the more freedom you have. Less is more, how the expression goes. That is so true, because the more, belongings that a person has, the more that person has to spend, like, taking care of it and storing it and displaying it and whatever, cleaning it and bringing it out and putting it back away, or bringing it out and then putting it up again, and now when you're a younger person and you have a young family, you are going to have more things, because you need more things. But as you begin to age and get older in life, you realize that you don't need as much as you used to have a need for when you were in your 30s and your 40s, and going into your going into your 50s. So that affects things. That affects how much a person has inside their house. And let's see. So, oh, have a tasty breakfast. Yeah. You have to remember to eat. Sometimes it'll be 10:30, 11:30, and I haven't had anything to eat yet. So you have to be mindful of that and have breakfast, and then exercise self-discipline. Stick to your daily agenda. Everybody should have their own personal daily agenda, which I'll share that sometime on another video, what mine is. And then take stock of your belongings, assess what you have. So every so often, from time to time, you have to like go through your things and see what you have and what needs to be, like, uh, parted with. And then oh, this is a good motivational thing. Challenge yourself to complete tasks. It's also helpful to do small spaces at a time, because typically you'll finish it to completion. If it's a small job. And using a timer helps. I use a timer. I stay focused. Um, I put your heart into it and be of good cheer in your work. Try to be cheerful about it and try not to just rush through it. Take your time. Um, Pay special attention to details. Make it look nice. A while back I did a video. It was just something I happened to stumble on. It was an old pilot episode of, believe it or not, Betty Davis. I think it was in 61 or 62. Um, they made, I think, 10 or 12 episodes of this sitcom. That it was her sitcom, and it was called The Decorator. And anyway, it didn't go anywhere. But there's one episode, the first episode, the pilot episode. It's on YouTube, and in the scene in the episode, she's talking to her client, because she's a decorator. So it's her client and his wife. It's a husband and wife, and she's telling they come into their brand new um, redecorated. It's like a cottage home, I think. It's like a second. It's like a guest house in back of their primary residence. It was someplace in Malibu, here in California, like in 61. And anyway, or was that? Oh, no. That's where. Sorry about that. That's where she lived. In the beginning of the episode, she's waking up in the morning and she's living in her house slash mansion um in Malibu. Anyways, so she tells the client, because he's so amazed that it's like him and his wife's, it's like a farmhouse, it's like a ranch house, and they hired her to redecorate it. And so it's their first day coming into their newly redecorated home, and it's just beautiful. And it's in black and white, mind you, but it's beautiful. And then she tells him everything has been, what she says, everything has been scrubbed, mended, and polished. That's what she says. Scrub, mended, and polished. So that's kind of a good attitude to have when you're taking care of your house and you're taking care of your belongings in your house, to keep things scrubbed, mended, and polished, and things look nicer for a longer time. And then what else did I say? What? Keep. Sorry, I lost my spot. Don't wait. Keep note of what. Fit. No. Oh shoot. Where? Pace yourself. Oh my goodness. Okay, so put your heart into it and be of good cheer in your work. Take many breaks. pace yourself accordingly, curate it, make it nice. I'm going to give an example. I want to show you guys where I've done that in the house. Finish using what you have before you buy more of it. Keep note of what to track and what to repurchase. Don't overconsume. Don't buy what you don't need. Balance your chores with your rest time. Sip a glass of wine. Have some cheese and olives. Yeah, you got to have your snacks. Make a home office space. I have that. I did that. That turned out really nice. Be flexible with your daily schedule and appreciate your leisure downtime. So those are my tips. And then this first thing here where it says words to live by, a place for everything and everything in its place. Okay, this is where I want to give examples of that philosophy. And it works. And if you get into the habit of, first you have to designate a place for everything, and then you have to be disciplined and consistent about putting everything in its place. That's why it's called a place for everything and everything in its place. And if you can program yourself to do that, you will be really amazed at how, for the most part, your house looks pleasantly in order. Okay, so I'm going to put this down and we're just going to work around. So, for example, this is a chest of drawers that I have, and this is how I keep my makeup organized. So I keep this serving. It's a glass platter, and I keep my face makeup and my primer and one little color correct and face powders, primers, and the foundation. So I kind of have grouped these things. It's makeup, but it's like for the face. Then in this top drawer here, and I keep it in the top drawer so it's easy to take out. When I don't wear makeup, I think I wear makeup maybe twice a week, about twice a week. Whoops, sorry about that. Anyway, so I keep it here. I'm not one to keep all of my makeup and like the things like the things from the toiletries. There you go. I'm not one to keep all of that like just exposed all the time. So this is the way I keep. This is my the rest of my makeup, and this is how I keep it organized. So I keep this plastic little bin here, and this is how I keep my makeup brushes. I keep them together, and then I have these two little tray inserts, and this is just has to do with eyes. I put my curler in there, but makeup and eye drops, everything that has pencils, eyeliners, eyebrow pencils, just things that have to do for eyes. And then this little tray container is where I keep everything that has to do with lipsticks. So lipsticks, lip balm, and some lip liners and whatnot, some chapstick. So I keep that grouped like that. And then I keep these are the eyeshadow palettes right here. And then this is just a little container where I keep like the to apply your makeup, your sponges and your powder puffs type of thing. And so I keep that in here. Whoops. And then this is just baby wipes. Okay, so that's how I keep. So again, the idea is a place for everything and everything in its place. So this is my place or places for my makeup. And then on the bottom drawer, this is my place for, and I don't do my nails very often at all, but this is my drawer for everything that has to do with um, uh, manicures and pedicures. And I don't know, I don't know. For somebody who doesn't paint their nails very often, I sure have a lot of nail polish. But anyway, that's all of that. It's fun. I mean, sometimes, once in a while, when I do feel like being kind of girly, I will go ahead and spend an hour and a half or 2 hours giving myself a manicure, and I paint my nails. Like I'm thinking for St. Patrick's Day, I want to paint, it's going to be either this green, which is kind of weird. It's kind of like kind of reminds me of the Ninja Turtles green. And then I have this green, which is like an avocado green, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so using that, oh, and then I have this. This is a green too. No, that's more gray. Anyway, painting them green and then putting a top coat of this, which is like a green frost. I feel like this on top of either that one or that one, that it would like really look so pretty. Okay, so that's my a place for everything and everything in its place. My place for all things, you know, fingernails and manicures and pedicures. All right, so then coming over here, this is something that I keep inside the closet, and this is a wooden box that I found one time at the Goodwill, and I keep my craft supplies in here. Everything that is related to being a craft supply is in this rectangular box here, and I used to have a lot more craft supplies, you know, in a past life, but I don't do the crafts as much. Not very, maybe once a year I might do something crafty like that. And then this is my sewing box. So this, again, it's the the practice of a place for everything and everything in its place. So this is my sewing box. So I keep my threads. You know when you buy, sometimes you buy new sheets or new pillowcases or maybe a comforter, or they come in these really nice, really like sturdy plastic bags with the zippers. So sometimes when you get new pillowcases, they'll come in a fancy packaging like this, and they're great for keeping things separated and organized, like thread and like more threads, smaller threads, and then like this is kind of like just a catch-all, you know. And then I keep pins in here, loose items like pins and needles, and then my scissors, and then some ribbon. So yeah, so this is all I have by way of sewing supplies. And then lastly, we're almost done, but right here, okay, so this is my desk. I sit down here sometimes to write and whatnot. So I have this little space underneath, and that corner there, I typically keep this chair. This was my father's chair, so I have it now. So I keep this chair in that corner. I don't keep the chair underneath the desk. And because sometimes I sit there in the corner so I can look at TV, which is over here on this side. And so, so underneath the desk, there's just this space, and it just so happens that This wicker basket fits just right underneath the little writing desk. And I used to have a ton of seasonal decorations, but last summer I had a yard sale and I ended up giving away everything, but I needed to get rid of it. So now, believe it or not, this one wicker storage basket is where I house not Valentine's Day. The holidays from St. Patrick's Day to Easter, not 4th of July, that's in another closet. And Halloween is in here. And yeah, I think so. I think it's just St. Patrick's Day, and which I have that out in the living room on display right now. So basically, inside this basket is just basically Easter, which I have not decorated with. I have not decorated for. I'm not going to put my Easter decorations up until after the day after St. Patrick's Day, which is March 17th. Okay, so inside here is just Halloween stuff and Easter stuff, which I'm not going to take it all out. I'm just going to, I have a special box for Thanksgiving, so I need to put that in that other box. So everything else in here has to do with it, not has to do with, but it's for Halloween and for Easter. But the idea is the message is that how well it works when you designate a place for everything, and like things, similar things, like things, and then once you get into the habit of putting it in the same place, it just comes natural, and the house is more organized and more orderly. So okay, so I have to get up now. All right, so I guess I'm gonna close this video now because it's gotten quite long. I think this is the longest video I've ever done. Right now it's at 27 minutes and 49 seconds. Okay, I need to say goodnight now. I need to say goodbye now. All right, well, thanks. I hope you enjoyed this long video. Bye.